Hey, welcome. Game number 83 of the 79 replay of our beloved Mets. And we're treating them with a little bit of tough love in that we got to get to 30 wins. We're stuck at 29 right now. And unfortunately, we're playing the Los Angeles Dodgers for 3 games. I'm going to get started right away. Now, I'm going to try to play this game chartless. And only if I'm pushed to extremes will I have to go to a chart. I'm trying to keep it at a minimum. So let's see what happens. I just wanted to show you because somebody, friend asked me about the sleeves that I use for the cards. They're 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. I think it's the standard baseball card Ultra Pro. I thought it was Fleer, but it is not. That's why I said, let me get home. I don't want to give you the wrong information. So anyway, this is it. So you can write that down or screenshot it or whatever you want to do. And I get them on, you can get them a lot of places. The company's Ultra Pro from Los Angeles. And in this game, it's going to be Pete Falcone. And Pete Falcone, you know, he's been having his troubles. Let's quickly look at his stats. Pete Falcone. I'm using an iPad, a 10-inch iPad on my right with the, okay, there it is, with the stats. It keeps stats for me. So Pete Falcone has a 3.50 ERA. In actuality, he had a 4.16 ERA. And 55 strikeouts in 111 innings. 93 hits, 27 walks. Allowed 18 home runs. Huh. So in actuality, he allowed 24 home runs and 76 base on balls. We're halfway through the season. So he's a little bit ahead of his home run total with 18. So he's been getting, you know, hit hard, to say the least. And he's going to be going, he was 6-14 with a 4.16 ERA. And he's going to be going against Jerry Royce, who was 7-14 with a 3.54 ERA. We're going to get started right away. And here goes Chartless payoff pitch. Now, I use the cards. I'm going to show you how to use the cards as well. Okay. We don't like when it comes out of the house. 7. And that's versus a lefty. It's going to be a line drive base hit for Davey Lopes leading it off. So Davey Lopes is a threat to steal. He had 44 stolen bases and 4 caught stealing. So he's going to try to get a lead. And the way I do this is there's a steal number. See that number? It says 5. Okay, well I have to roll 5 or less. And we rolled a 3, so he's going to be going. Now he's a B, and our catcher, Trevino, I believe Trevino's a 2. Let's double check. Trevino's a 2, so a B2 is probably a normal base stealer. So I'm going to use a card. I go to the base stealing section. I go under normal, and he's safe. Now let's say I'm wrong, and it's definitely not a poor, because the guy's a B base stealer. So a B2 would definitely be a fair, and he's also safe. So I'm going to say that he's safe. So Davey Lope steals second. And he is now on second base in scoring position. And the next batter is Bill Russell. Bill Russell versus lefties batted .313. Here's the pitch to Russell. And that's going to be a ground ball, shortstop. Taveras looks Davey Lope's back and fires to first. 1 down. Reggie Smith. This is the second game of a 3-game set, and the Dodgers won the last game by a score of 2-0. Reggie Smith drove in both those runs. 9. And that's going to be a hit by pitch. So Reggie gets on base. I mean, the ball, you can barely see that the ball touched his uniform, and but the umpire gave him the base. So now you have first and second, one out, and Steve Garvey. Now, the Dodgers have a heck of a ball team. Here's the pitch to Steve Garvey from the lefty Pete Falcone. And that's going to be a ball that's pulled down the line, and Richie Hebner short hops it and goes to second for one, back to first, double play, around the horn, double play, 5-4-3, and that retires the side. Jerry Royce, lefty. So this is the battle of the Southpaws. That's an 11 in play. And that's going to be a base hit for Frankie Taveras. And Frankie Taveras is also a threat to steal. 6 or less, he goes, and we roll a 6. Now, we don't like to run against LA because usually, I'll tell you, their catcher is pretty good and has a darn good arm. And unless you're a B, Steve Yeager has a 2-arm, and when you're a C, that brings you down to, let's take a quick look. There he goes. He's safe no matter what, so we don't have to look at anything. A chart. Oh, home, and then there's a separate section for home there. You see that? In case you're stealing home, safe. D or F is out. So if he tried to steal home on this card, he would have been safe. Now, I don't really try to steal home, and I believe you need doubles to try to steal home, just like you need doubles. So for this, I would have to be 3-3. That's the only way I could have been stealing home had I been on third base. So Frankie Taveras is on second base. Now Taveras stole 42 bases, was caught 19 times. And it's Elliot Maddox, ex-Yankee. And that's ball 4. So Maddox walks, first and second. And Lee Mazzilli. Now, Lee Mazzilli's the Mets' best batter. I'll tell you what he bats. Lee Mazzilli bats 329. In actuality, I believe he batted about 300. So that's a 7. That's going to be a single, and it's a sharp liner that drops in front of the left fielder, and the left fielder, Ferguson, plays it on a hop and gets it in quickly. The bases are loaded with nobody out. So the Mets are threatening. Hallelujah. This doesn't happen very often, so you will see me get very excited and actually have to have a quick toast to this bases loaded, nobody out against the Los Angeles Dodgers. A quick toast. See what happens. And you have Richie Hebner. Now, Richie Hebner is the highest paid batter or player on the Mets at $200,000. All right, so here's the pitch from Royce. Infield's back. They're looking for the double play at this point. You got Ted Martinez at third, Bill Russell at short, Davey Lopes at second, and Steve Garvey at first. That's a 7. In play 77, that's going to be a fly ball center field, and that's shallow center. Von Joshua comes in for it, and there's no chance for anybody to advance on a shallow fly ball. One away. Here is Youngblood. That's a 45, and that's going to be a liner into left center, cut off by the left fielder, and going for 2 is Youngblood. Around to score is Taveras. Here comes Maddox. Mazzilli stops at third, and a 2-run double by Joel Youngblood. And the Mets are up 2-0. Hallelujah. So Joel Youngblood connects and drives in 2 with a bases loaded 1-out double, and it's John Stearns. John Stearns batted 249 versus lefties. And that's 7. That's going to be a base on balls. Bases loaded. So here comes Tommy Lasorda to speak to Jerry Royce. Tommy is one of a kind. He bleeds Dodger blue. We know that. All right, here's the pitch from Royce to Stevie Henderson, right-handed batter. And that's going to be a pop-up to the right side. Steve Garvey's there, and that's out number 2. And here comes Alex Trevino. He's catching, giving John Stearns a break, a rest. Stearns is playing first, replacing Willie Montanez. We're using the actual lineups. I don't know why Montanez is out. It could be he's in a slump or he has some sort of injury or a personal issue. And that's going to be a line drive base hit. Drops in front of the left fielder. Around to score is Mazzilli. They're waving Youngblood in, and the throw is cut off. Stearns goes to third. First and third, a 2-run single by Alex Trevino. Comes up huge. And the Mets lead it 4-0 with first and third and 2 outs. Wow. Not used to this. Pete Falcone, who is a 5 pitcher hitting card. Now, the payoff pitch uses pitcher hitting cards, and I like it. I mean, it's close enough for me. A pitcher's a guy who's going to contribute very little. The most he'll have is 40 to 60 at-bats a season. That's if, they're a pitcher that is an ace-type pitcher. So I'm not, for me, they don't need to have their personalized batting cards. Snake Eyes Wheelhouse, 88 on a 5. That's a ground ball shortstop, and Russell is going to go to Lopes. And that's the force that retires the side, but not before the Mets bat 9 in that inning against Jerry Royce, and they score 4 runs. This is exciting. Not used to this. No siree. Now the crowd is very, very quiet, and we noticed that immediately. So we're going to get them going here. That's going to be Joe Ferguson leading it off. He steps in the box, right-handed hitter, bats .319 versus lefties. The pitch from Falcone is a 7. Tough 47. That's a base hit single in front of the left fielder. And Henderson gets it in, and he's not a third steal. At a 1 stolen base, I mean, we can roll for him just out of courtesy. But he's not going to be stealing too much. Now, Von Joshua is not going to be bunting either. Too early for that business. Ballpark, 83 at Shea Stadium. A lefty is 1-46, so that's beyond. And you see that? You can see it here. 1-46, it's an 83. So we're going to the in play. In play, Von Joshua, 20 against a lefty. Oh, and he does not hit lefty. This is interesting, I'll tell you right now. Von Joshua bats 125 against lefties, but yet he had 16 at-bats against lefties, yet he's in this game. So I don't know what that says. I don't know if that means that they didn't know that he was this bad against lefties or they didn't care. But they must have cared. He only has 16 at-bats versus lefties. So after these 16 at-bats, they said, the brass must have said, you know what? We are not playing Joshua versus lefties at this point. So that 20 is going to be an out, and it's going to be a pop-up to the left side, and Richie Hebner in foul grounds makes the catch. 1 out. Ferguson is at first, and it's Ted Martinez. Ted Martinez bats 186 versus lefties with 43 at-bats. This is the great thing that I love about payoff pitch. You get almost every single card. I mean, I had a guy with, I think, 21 or 24 at-bats, and he was carded in this beautiful, glossy, semi-glossy, thick card, gorgeous. I mean, come on. You're not going to get this anywhere. Okay, I'm sick of and tired of fighting uphill battles and scaling Mount Everest, blindfolded, with companies that are not sharing the wealth. They want to act like they're Amazon or something. I don't know what they're doing. They make these random decisions, and nobody knows what they're doing. Yet, despite the public demands for a particular product, they turn they turn away from it. Not interested. All right, so it's going to be 6, and that's going to be a strikeout. Ted Martinez down on strikes. And Stevie Yeager. Steve Yeager. Ballpark 67. That's going to be in play. In play 09. Oh, and that's going to be a single. And Ferguson, let's see what Ferguson. If Ferguson is a 6 in the run section, he's a 5. He's going to stop at the second. Had he been a 6, he would hustle over to third. So first and second, 2 outs, and it's the pitcher, Jerry Royce. Royce is a 5 batter. Here's the pitch from Falcone. A tough 27, and that's going to be a strikeout. So the high hard one gets Royce chasing, and we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Defense 25. Okay, this could be, we look at defense here, we're going to see if it's an error or it says range. So we're going to look at the range, 25. We're going to look, it says second base, so we're going to look at the second baseman, Lopes. Lopes is a range F. He has a terrible range for a second baseman. Did not know he was that bad. So that's an F, so that's definitely going to be a hit of some kind. Let's find out if it's a hit and an error or a 2-base error that he throws it over the first baseman's. Well, it would have to be a single, so it's a hit to second base. It's a single, basically. All right. So Taveras is on with his second single of the game, and that's how the range effect works, range and error effect. Now, Taveras, we're going to roll to see if he gets a lead and tries to steal, and that's an 8. He does not because he's a 6. So Taveras is on at first. And you know what? We're going to bunt because the Mets never have enough. And Elliot Maddox is a B. You can see that right there. See that? B? B bunt. You look in the bunt section, sacrifice hit, and it says at the bottom 3. So it's a ground ball to the first baseman, Garvey. Oh. Instead of putting sacrifice fly, I put ground out. So that's good. Sacrifice hit. So batter advances on a sacrifice hit to Garvey, who tags out Maddox. And it's Lee Mazzilli now. Lee Mazzilli with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. The pitch from Royce, that's a 7. In play 15, and that's going to be a line drive. Base hit to right field, and they're going to stop Taveras at third. First and third now with 1 out. And it's Richie Hebner, left-handed batter. He bats .219 versus lefties. That's a 5. A tough 15, and that's a strikeout. Hebner down on strikes. The curveball got him. Inside part of the plate. And it's Joe Youngblood. Youngblood is 1 for 1 with a double. He had a 2-run double. I believe it was a 2-run double, was it not? Oh, I have to look. I can't remember. 6 patient. And a patient 49. A patient 49 is going to be a line drive into left. And that runner's advance 1 base. Mazzilli, who's a 6 or a 7 with 2 outs, is going to advance to third. So RBI single by Youngblood. And the Mets are up 5-0. And hustling over to third is Lee Mazzilli. John Stearns. Jerry Royce, 5-0 Mets. And that's going to be a fly ball lifted to right. Reggie Smith waits for it, pounds the glove, and squeezes it for the out. That retires the side. Score 5-0. Mets in the top of the third. Davey Lopes is going to lead it off. He's 1 for 1. Strikeout. Lopes down swinging. 1 away. Bill Russell steps into the box. 6. And that's fly to right. Elliot Maddox. 2 out. Reggie Smith, who was hit by a pitch earlier in the game. And that's strike 3. 3 up, 3 down. Pete Falcone has had very little trouble up to this point outside of allowing 3 base hits, but compared to what he normally does. Here's Jerry Royce against Steve Henderson, who's 0 for 1 with a flyout. And that's going to be a ground ball. Shortstop Bill Russell up with it. Throws on the run. 1 away. Gets Henderson by half a step. Alex Trevino, who singled. And that's going to be a ground ball. First base, Garvey flips to Royce, covering 3-1. 2 down. And a tough 63 strikeout. Falcone down on strikes. 2 more minutes. I got to pull my fish out of the oven. I'm going to take a mini break. Steve Garvey steps in the box. That's patience 63 for Garvey, and that's going to be ground ball second base. Youngblood. Youngblood's playing second base for the Mets today. Usually it's a place where Doug Flynn, who's more adept as a fielder, plays. And it's Joe Ferguson, who's 1 for 1 with a single. 72. That's going to be a fly ball center field. Lee Mazzilli is right there. 2 away. And it's a 39, tough 39 strikeout for Von Joshua. Von Joshua does not hit lefties well at all. Batted 125 against them, but he's in this game. Thank goodness for the Mets. Frankie Taveras steps in the box. Jerry Royce. Patient 93. And that's going to be fly ball left field. Ferguson, 1 away. Elliot Maddox. Maddox batted 240 versus lefties and 290 versus righties. And I'm thinking of actually getting this set without the splits, because from what I'm seeing is that it makes absolutely no difference. I mean, this is 1979. I mean, they still weren't really committing to doing the right lefty-righty splits. Just to have another set, I mean, just to support Joe, because this is an amazing game. You know, so even though I have the splits, I'll have the regular without the splits. Pete Falcone, and it's time to get my fish out of the oven so it doesn't burn. Be right back. It's Ted Martinez stepping into the box against Pete Falcone. We are in the top half of the 5th inning. It's 5-0 Mets. They're on the verge of their 30th victory of the year. This is crazy celebration time, and I will be celebrating. All right, I am back. Got my fish All right, let's go here. Let's roll. Ted Martinez. Whoa. And that's going to be a 7 off Falcone. Tough 95. That's going to be an out for sure. Fly ball left field. Steve Henderson. 1 away. We are at Shea Stadium, beautiful downtown Flushing, Queens, right across the street from the junkyards, which are now being turned into condos, I believe. And that's a 3 in play, 59. That's going to be a ground ball second base, Youngblood, over to first, 2 down. 4-3 if you're keeping score. And Jerry Royce still batting. Jerry Royce. And that's patient, 80. Ground ball shortstop, Taveras to his left, throws on the run, and throws out Royce, who's hustling down that line by half a step. So he's got some speed for sure. Jerry Royce against Richie Hebner. Hebner's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. 21. It's going to be a base on ball, so Hebner walks. Hebner's not a threat to steal. I have 3 stolen bases. Let's have some fun. Let's see what happens. 2. We needed a snake eyes for him to go. He does not. If you look here, showing you. Oh, what happened? I lost my feed, guys. I lost my feed. Wait a second. That shouldn't happen.